Hello everybody, this is Milagros from Binah Tarot, and I am going to be doing the tarot scopes for the 12 zodiac signs for the year of 2018. You can check your ascendant and your moon sign since it is just a general reading, and I am going to keep doing the monthly videos in regards to love. Let's begin. Alright, so these are the decks I'm going to be using for this month's readings. These are some of my favorite decks. I really cannot include all of them because it will be just too much. This is one of my two favorite decks ever. My Kingdom Within Tarot deck by Juno, Lucina and Shannon ThornFeather. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. This is my go-to deck for readings for clients. I'm also going to do a review on this one. I am pretty sure that it is not so widely known and many people could benefit from using it. As for Lenormand, for the more practical matters, we have Lenormand, and this is also one of my favorite decks. It's quite a recent one, and I really love it. I have it in two sizes. The author of this deck is Melanie. She's lovely. She has made it so easy for people to connect to the deck because she includes keywords, and it's just amazing to have it also in a small size so that it can fit the whole reading. I'm going to be doing a review on this one too. And then for the more love-oriented questions, we have the Lover's Path Tarot. I do have to mention the author of the Lover's Path Tarot deck, and it's Kris Waldherr. I hope I'm pronouncing it right again. And then we have the Iris deck, which is an oracle deck. It's not a tarot deck. It is amazing. It has 78 cards. The imagery, again, might not apply to everybody, but the message is very good. It's also quite accurate, and it's a great deck to give advice. The author is Mary Elizabeth Evans. So I'm going to be using this one to make a wheel of the year. All the months I will pull one card per month in a circle fashion. Then I'm going to pull by trimesters with these two decks. This one to focus in more financial work-related matters. And this one to focusing more, again, by trimesters, to focus into the more emotional side of the reading. Worry not, though, because I will keep uploading my love readings for every month. So if you want more information into the emotional side of the readings, then you can keep watching the monthly ones. This one will just give some general image of how the next year will go. As the Iris deck, I will be pulling one card that will connect to the card of the year, and it will give you an advice, like an advice of what to focus on. So, Gemini, this is your scope for the year of 2018. We are beginning here with the month of January, and we are going this way till the month of December. We begin with the Kingdom Within All card, and this card is unique to this deck. Many people might relate it to the World card, and it has some similarities with it, but it's ultimately different in a way. This card suggests us in a way to focus in the things that are further away from our eyes, the things that are not too obvious. It's a card that explains that connects you in a way to other dimensions, to other realities. It prompts you to connect to your spirituality, to look for the progression of the spirit in a way, to be open to lessons and to learn from situations regardless of the outcome. So I think that for Gemini this year, the year of 2017 particularly, has been challenging in many different ways, and you want to begin the year of 2018 with a wider knowledge of what has happened in the previous years. You want to feel wiser. You want to, as we can see here, we see the yin-yang force, which is quite compatible to the duplicity of Gemini. You're trying to conciliate, to reconcile in a way your two different or your two opposite sides, trying to find for some certain common ground to understand what lies beyond. It's a month of discovery, of self-discovery, but also a month in which you're going to try to look at the world with different eyes. As I was saying, you should be open to the lessons regardless of the outcome. Try not to be too lost into the everyday problems of life. and try not to forget about the spiritual part of life. I think that this month it feels strongly in a way that should encourage you to expand your horizons beyond tradition, beyond habit, taking the game further away from human concerns, from worldly pressures or pleasures, sorry, trying to look for redemption, enlightenment. It's a very, very interesting card. I think it is one of the most interesting cards to get in the reading, and it's amazing that you're beginning the year with that kind of energy. You're beginning the year like making an ultimate spiritual attempt of growth. This card is really spiritual, so it's a little bit difficult to connect it to more material matters. But it can also reflect in your relationships, in your plans in life. There is a part of you that wants to connect the rest of the aspects in your life with something higher, with a higher energy, with a higher force, with something you believe in, with a higher purpose. You are trying to look for that higher purpose, and that is the focus and what the energy of the world it is towards you during this month. So if this is something you're interested in, January is a very good month to explore it. In regards to February, we have the Two of Cups, which is true love. This speaks about relationships. It's the first thing that comes to mind when I speak about this card. It has to do with harmonious relationships with other people, a relationship in which you give and you receive practically in the same proportion. Beyond relationship matters, or it can also mean that the month of February will be based or focused into your relationship with somebody else, relationship with yourself, relationship based. If it doesn't have to do with relationships, then it has to do with choices, with options, with having to make a decision, having more than one option and trying to decide. Yet another duplicity card. So there is, I think this energy of the month of February will be triggered by January. So from the month of January and on, you're going to feel triggered to balance your life in different ways, and you will have to make some choices in the month of February that are going to bring, or that are going to be in tune with the energies that you are going to be feeling in the beginning of the year. Now, the next card is a little bit tricky because we have the Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords is a card of separations. So whether you're going to be splitting from this relationship, and it seems to be a little bit out of the sudden, because I also get the Sacrifice card that connects relationships in the trimester into this first trimester. So it might be telling me that if maybe you feel that this relationship you are having with this person is not better, it's not fitting, it's not nourishing your soul in a way, you might need that it's necessary, you might feel that it's necessary to give a step aside. If it doesn't have to do with separations, because we are talking about the general reading, it might have to do with you having to separate your attention in more than one matter. Maybe you need to, or you cannot dedicate all the time to a relationship, but you also have to focus in more practical matters. Maybe somebody from your family, from your friends is going to need you, to detach a little bit from your own personal issues and to lend a helping hand. It might also have to do with somebody leaving from your life. There is a sense of loss in a way. There is a sense of heartbreak that keeps coming towards the month of April, as we see it here. But before finishing this trimester, I'm going to the two practical cards, which are the Tower and the Garden. And these are the energies for the first trimester of the year. So it is January, February, March. And we have, as we see here, the Tower is a card that has to do with institutions, with with ambitions, with work. It might have to do with isolation too, but I think that you are going to, as we can see, the Garden actually, before I get there, the Garden is quite the opposite. The Garden is not about isolation, it's about being into the community, being social, being out there to be seen in a way. So you might need to balance out your academical life with your social life, or maybe part of your career is actually being out there. Maybe you are a person who needs to be talking, maybe you need to be connected or talking to public or into public relationships. Then this is something that it's going to come out quite strong during the first trimester for you. You will need to be balanced within yourself because it is going to be necessary for you to be out there. So if you want to make a change, if you're thinking to give a twist to your career and to maybe stop seeing just the economical or the financial part, of the things and go a little bit more into the spiritual path, then this is a good month to do it. But I see something around people. I see that you might need to be in front of people, around people. If you're a performer, an artist, that is something coming up during this first trimester. And it is related to that, to being outside, to being with people. In general, it's something that is coming in the first months, as we can see in the timing features of the cards as well. And in regards to love, as I was saying, I see the sacrifice card, which is practically letting somebody go. And this tells me that it might be, or you might need to let somebody go from your life in regards to emotions. Or you might need to detach in regards to emotions from somebody because you just won't be able to deal with it, because you will feel it's not for your higher good, or because the other person is going to trigger you in a negative way that will make you want to take some distance. You might change your mind later on, because I see the card, which I have the 5 of Cups here for the month of April, and the 5 of Cups is the card of heartbreak. This is not the first time I get a combination like this for Gemini. Sometimes what I do see is that you might hurry up to make decisions that you might later on regret. It is possible that you will regret this separation, or having decided to walk away from this person or remove this person from your life. And it is something that is going to come out quite strongly during this month. These separation cards might have to do with companies too, before I forget that. It might have to do with the work, it might have to do with you finishing or ending a cooperation with a company or with the work. And maybe trying to get to an agreement during February and maybe just ending that contract or cooperation or collaboration, let's say, with this work or company or school. It might have, it has to do with separations of every sort. And I see that during the month of April, it's going to bring up some thoughts like, did I make the right choice? Did I maybe ended up losing? Maybe it wasn't your choice to make and it just happened that way. And during the month of April, you are going to be trying to address the departure from having made that decision. And this is an energy that keeps coming also to the month of May, the Judgment card. The Judgment card is what comes after making a big decision. It's kind of the result. It's feeling free. Are you feeling free after walking away from this situation, from this person, from this work? Are you feeling better? Are you feeling guilty? What is the final feeling, or the feeling that this decision has given you? That is what Judgment card is. And it is a time that it's not going to be only up to you, but it is the energies of the month of May that are going to make you look back to the previous months, to make a reevaluation of the decisions that you have been making. Asking you if you have been fair, if maybe you have rushed to make a decision, if maybe it was the right decision to make and you are just coming to terms with it. But the main topic of the month of May is judgment. This also has to do with legal matters. So if you are into some sort of legal suit or something, then this is a month when the judgment is coming with when the decisions are being made, when you are filing the suit, when you're receiving news in regards to that suit. This card also has to do with paperwork. You might need to do some paperwork. It might have to do with divorce as well. If you are trying to legally divorce, then this is another thing that can come during this month. Anything that has to do with decisions, with receiving information about decisions, outcomes, and such are included in the Judgment card, which we have for the month of May. For the next month, the month of June, we have the Prince of Wands, which is Philosopher, Rebel, Player. This is a card that represents more fire energy signs such as Leo, Aries, Sagittarius, But many times do I see people from Gemini coming across as a king of wands, as a prince of wands, sorry. It has to do with you sometimes just trying to, whenever you feel too burdened by something, whenever something becomes too heavy for you, and the moment when you just want to run away from it, that is this card. This card is like trying to just get away, run away from the stress, run away from the responsibility, from the attachment, from the compromise in a way. I think that you are going to be a little bit burdened by the energies of the previous months. It's all going to seem a little bit too heavy, maybe a little bit too difficult to deal with, maybe having made a decision to leave that work and such, and you were maybe thinking of it a lot, or maybe the decision to leave this place, or leave this house, or leave this person, and you have been feeling a little bit heavy about it. But I think that during this month you're just going to say, okay, I'm just going to get over with it, I'm just going to go my way and forget a little bit about what has happened. It also has to do with running with news. So whether you're going to receive important news during this month in regards to the past, because as you can see, he's looking this direction, or you are going to be the one giving or bringing news to somebody. You might also have to be the one, the rebel. You might also rebel against a situation. You might rebel against somebody trying to impose something in you. Maybe you have a boss, or in your work, or in your relationship, you feel that you are being told what to do. And this is a month in which you are going to stand for what you think, for what you feel is right. It might not last much though, because this card, in terms of timing, it's not something that holds to a longer term. But at least during this month there is some sort of movement. You are rebelling in a way against the energies of the previous months. As for that trimester reading, in practical terms, we get the snake and the anchor. And the snake and the anchor has to do with problems with stability. So because of how the things are going throughout this year and the changes that are happening, they can be big changes, they can be small changes. If you see this type of cards, please do not get over concerned that the year will be terrible. By no means, this is just a general reading, and these are just energies that might feel like a lot less than they seem, and they might be just minor. But these cards are telling me that in some way your stability is going to feel compromised, or that you are going to feel like cheated in a way, or that you are going to feel like somebody has disappointed you in a way. And that is going to compromise in a way your routine, your stability. You are going to feel like the permanence of things is being put on stake in a way, that the safety is compromised. So if you are thinking maybe that it's not a good idea to leave this job, or this also connects to work, so there might be somebody inside your work that is responsible for how the energies and the things are going on during these months, and you might need to address this situation or this person. It may be a woman, because this card also represents a queen. So I would say to pay attention during this second trimester into your surroundings, to see from where the complications are coming from, because there is a source. This also tells me that the complications are not coming by themselves, that there is a source, there is a place from where this confusion is coming. And it is actually the element that you should address. In regards to love, I get the Eight of Cups that speaks about moving on. So this tells me that if these cards had to do with a relationship, if what I described now had to do with a relationship, it might be a time of moving on. Maybe moving on from the pain, moving on. Maybe you didn't really move on the previous first trimester. And you will be focusing on that, on moving on making yourself feel lighter. If you have been through trouble in your relationship, then this might be a time for healing and moving on from the pain, moving on from the discussions, moving on from the confusion. Just all over, overall, trying to move on to a better place, to a place of stability, to a place of harmony in a way. Now we have the month of July, and we see the Queen of Pentacles that we can see as here, Mary the Virgin Mother, Channel, Queen, Pilgrim. So again, another card that might have to do with movement. It's a month in which you will be guided, or you will want some kind of divine guidance or guidance to head to some direction, because we had the Wands and we have Pentacles here, and they're quite the opposite. Like, these two cards are quite the opposite. So I think that after the movement, after breaking free from the stress, after rebelling against the previous months, what has happened, after taking that break, in a way, this is a month in which you are asked to be responsible again, to take responsibilities again. So here we see that you are going to try to look for a symbol, to look for a signal of where to go, what to do. It is a month that is going to be more focused into practical matters. So whether it is something that you want to invest on, maybe it's a house that you want to buy, maybe it's a new work, maybe it's a promotion, maybe it's just getting along in your work in a different way, gathering resources, making changes or adjustments within yourself so that you can bring prosperity to yourself. This is a month in which you're going to be building that. This is inner energy. So it is going to be internal. You're going to try to focus again, to gain the focus again, and direct that focus to practical matters. On the next month, we have the Four of Pentacles. This is August, and it's a card of acquisition. So it makes a lot of sense that these two cards appear together. I see that if whatever you have been trying to build, the money you have been trying to gather, the work, the focus that you had during the previous month, you are going to try to harvest it. On the next month, you are going to be able to gather some resources, or you are going to see finally some results to some effort that you have been making. Maybe you are going to see finally a foundation in which you can stand in order to make an investment. Maybe you have been saving up and the previous months were a little bit difficult, but finally during this month you maybe have the amount for that investment, maybe you have the amount to buy that house, maybe you have also the recognition for making that promotion, or this card also has to do with clinging to something. So during this month you might cling to that resources, you might cling to your position. It is a month in which you are receiving more than giving, let's say, and if you are giving, then it is something that it's going to come back to you in a positive way somehow. The next month we have is the Nine of Wands, and it's September, and the card is named Boundless Potential. So this tells me that whatever journey you're making, whatever decision you're making into your life, you have, or during this month, you are going to develop the potential. You're going to feel inspired. You're going to feel that you're going to maybe study how these things can have an impact in your life. Maybe if you want to get a raise, or maybe if you got a raise, you're going to start making plans on how can you invest that money. Maybe if you bought that house, you are making plans of how can you pay, let's say, the loan. Or maybe if you're starting to gather money to buy something, to relocate or so on, that is a month when you're going to start searching for that. But it's a month especially in which you're feeling strong, in which you're feeling that there has been a progression during the previous months, and maybe part of the vital force has left you a little bit, but during this month you're feeling vitality again. As for practical matters, I have the Bear and the Fish, and these are two very good cards. This is the boss with money. So whether this boss with money is you, whether you're going to be dealing with a big boss that has the money or the power in the company, this also has to do with strength. It has to do with a mother. So maybe your mother, maybe this queen is your mother and is lending you or giving you some help to make some acquisitions or to move forward in your life in a way. But this is going to be an image for you. You are going to have support from somebody else, support from a boss, support from a friend, support from the family, and they are going to have to do with this money income that is coming in. So they might actually help you, lending you some money, giving you some money, but it's related to finances. The Fish card is quite related to finances, so that is going to get the flow going in regards to that. As for love, during the third trimester, we have the Seven of Arrows, and the Seven of Arrows, again, is a tricky card. It might have to do with escaping, so whether you will try to escape the emotional situation because you won't have time to deal with it, whether the other person is going to be escaping from a discussion or a talk that you want to have with them, but in some way you are escaping the burden of what a relationship can bring along. During this trimester, I think that you are worn off from the previous months, and you, in this case, after moving on, you want to kind of escape, you want to kind of sneak out. This card has to do with cheating as well. It won't apply to every case, but I put it out there just in case. It is a month in which you want to go unnoticed, in a way, in which the energies are that if it is not you wanting to go unnoticed, then it might be the other person wanting to go unnoticed. But there is somebody hiding. There is something being concealed during this month. There is something that you just don't want to bother. You just don't want to deal with it during this month. It's like kind of evading in a way. It's kind of sneaking out in a way. The next month we have October, the 10 of Pentacles, which is concrete accomplishment. And we have more pentacles. This is actually great. Again, it speaks about money, it speaks about material things, it speaks about family as well, about heritage. It might mean you might be inheriting something from somebody. It might have to do with something that you are going to get from family, from friends. Maybe it is this person in your life trying to help you out, to lend you some resources. It also has to do with acquisition. It has to do also with moving in, spending time with family, getting the keys to your house, because we have house and key. So if you're looking to buy a house and maybe you are borrowing or you are trying to get the resources from somebody else during this month, then this is a month in which you might be actually getting the key. If you are maybe even thinking about renting, it might be the month in which you are finally finding the right place to move into, and you're getting that kind of support. It is a month also of stability, of financial stability. Whether it is you feeling that you're stable financially, or whether it is you trying to look to go after that financial stability. I also get the Emperor card, so this is just like a reaffirmation card of it. In the month of November, I have the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands is the power of fire. We have more wands here, so it's kind of interesting how it turns out. But it's another month in which there is inspiration, there is new ideas. So from getting this money, from getting this promotion, from getting this new job, from getting this new house, this new position, maybe you are getting graduated. Finally, this card might have to do with graduation too. Then here's where you finally feel inspired and put the first stone into the road to your future. This is a card of inspiration. This card is also a card of anger. So be careful of how you deal with your energies, because there is going to be a lot of energetic things, of energy flows moving around during that month. Just be aware to not get angry with the people around. This card has to do with passion too. It might have to do with a new love interest, or even something casual, a relationship rekindling, or somebody or some new casual thing appearing to your life. It has to do with that, with the passion, with the fire within yourself. That fire can be related to anger, that fire can be related to inspiration, that fire can be related to passion. Whatever it is during the month of November, there is going to be in your sign. As for the month of December, we have the Nine of Swords, which is a card of cruelty. And in the beginning, I was not sure when I pulled the card if I actually pulled the right card, because I was not kind of feeling it. But then I shuffled the cards again and I pulled it for a second time. So I'm pretty clear that it means something. Beware during the month of December of the fights, of the discussions, of how you come across to people. This is the card of fighting. This is a card of discussing with people. This is a card of misunderstandings. This is a card in which you are having issues to sleep, in which you might need some help, some pills to be able to sleep, or when you are feeling restless because you are overthinking. This is a card that symbolizes in a way what happens to Gemini or to the air signs sometimes. Sometimes you are too much within yourself, within your own head, and you are thinking all sorts of things and scenarios, and maybe it just needs to get cleared out. Maybe there is somebody else igniting this confusion. Beware of the people that wants to get in the middle and make you have fights with other people. Beware of the people that wants to create confusion. Don't fall for it. Just be direct. You are straightforward. You are direct. Whenever you have to address something, you are the kind of person that has no fear to do it directly. Just avoid misunderstandings, avoid overthinking, avoid overstressing. Whatever it is that you have to deal with, just do it directly. This is like a knot, let's say, and you can definitely sort it out if you address it correctly, if you address it directly. Whether it is in relationships, whether it is in the job, it's an energy that has to do with fighting, with overthinking, again, with being too much into your own head, with being too preoccupied, with not being able to sleep, If you are not having healthy sleeping patterns, then this is a month to take care of that, to not stay up too late and such. As for the fourth trimester, we have the house and the key, as we were saying, and this might symbolize that you are actually buying property, that you are finally going back to your place if you have been on a trip. It might have to do with you trying to find a solution for some domestic issues. Maybe you have had problems with your family and this is the month in which you are making up with them and you're just trying to find a solution with them. Just be careful to not go back into that confusion in the end of the month. It is the card in a way to finding that stability, because the anchor is about stability, but the house is about stability too, in a different way, maybe in a more materialistic way, but it's stability nevertheless. So you are trying to close the year by finding that solutions to be back, to gain back your foundation. As for the card of the year, we have the Seven of Pentacles. That is a card of discontent, but not only, but as you can see, he has harvested something. It's just not what he or she expected. You are very demanding, Gemini, and that is not bad. That is not bad. You are your worst judge and you want the best for yourself. You have very high standards. Just beware to not be unfair to yourself by those standards. Give what you can give, provide what you can provide, expect what you can expect. You are going to see results. It might take a little bit longer. You might need a little bit more patience. This card also speaks about waiting for something. So in here, the message is to not get discouraged, to keep trying, to not give up, because the results are going to come sooner or later. You just need to keep focused and not get discouraged by the lack of immediate results. And the advice card is the sheep who wandered and found a different shepherd. This has to do again with you sometimes, and especially here under this card and with the influence of that card, be aware of how you judge people. You might not be having all the facts. So especially during this year, be aware of how you see people, of if you are being fair in the way that you are judging people or seeing people into your life. You might not be right in some occasions. It might be that you are judging somebody way too good and the person is not who she or he seems to be. Or whether you are being a little bit, you are feeling preoccupied against this person and maybe you are being a little bit unfair and not giving the opportunities. So this card speaks mostly about it. Just try to not be preoccupied on your judgment of people, and also try to see that sometimes blessings, we don't choose the blessings of life. Sometimes you are going to go out looking for something, looking for a specific lesson, for a specific career, for a specific house, for a specific relationship. But I think that it's the times when we actually get exactly what we want are not many. And sometimes the blessings come concealed. Sometimes the blessings come later on. Sometimes the blessings we think we need are different than the ones that we end up getting and are better for ourselves. Just take the blessings, take the things that life gives you as they come. Do not judge, do not get disappointed because you're not getting exactly what you want, because there is always a reason for why the things are happening in a certain way, and we should be thankful for any sort of blessing coming our way. As I was saying in the beginning of the video, this is just a general reading, and if you want to book a private consultation with me, you can always do it through the link that I am going to leave down below of the video, in which you can have access to the different types of readings that I am offering. You can also have access to the Christmas promo reading. It is only $25 to speak about a specific topic, and you can have access to this through the link that I am going to leave down below. This is going to be active till the 31st of December. Besides that, I am really near from reaching the 10,000 subscribers, and I'm really thankful to you all for sharing, liking, subscribing to my channel. I'm going to be shooting a separate video in which I'm going to be explaining the guidelines to participate in the new contest that I am going to be launching when I reach the 10,000 subscribers. So you can subscribe to my channel, you can click on the alerts so that you can receive a notification when the new video is up. And besides that, thank you so very much for liking, for sharing, for the comments. and for all the support that you have shown me since I began shooting the videos. Thank you so very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, a very happy new year, and I see you next month in the tarot scopes for the month of January in regards to love. Goodbye. Thanks.